some say, open your eyes to a brighter light. Okay, open my arms, they were right. She was my soul one. Lord, she felt she was the only one. She was the sun in the sky, blue eyes. She was my soul one. Inside, pain in my heart often made a cry. Outside, I curse the birds and the sugar skies. How long it take to realize she's the one? How long until I find a lost, lonely soul? She was my soul one. Lord, you know she felt like the only one. She was a sun in the sky, blue eyes. She was my soul one. How come girl was there when I needed one? How come girl's there when the song is done? Some say, open your eyes to a brighter light. Okay, open my arms, they were right. Welcome to another episode of the Apocalypse, chock full of all the abominations you're looking for. And congratulations for unwisely choosing the apocalypse. Since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I am that guy. So I am here, take my hand. And hear Donny Shitbags say he runs the world. Exactly what I told you. I thought that he thought that he runs the world. That's how he acts anyway. Anyway, let's get started. The J.D. Vance allegations, remember those? I brought those up in a couple videos. A gentleman made some very bold allegations against the couch fucker. And J.D. waited about a week or two and then sent a cease and desist. Well, now it's been another week. The person has not taken the stuff down. So is there going to be swift legal action? This is starting to remind me of something when a certain rock star died and a certain family member was revealing certain things, and then a cease and desist was sent, which was utterly ignored. But no legal action came afterwards. And that seems to be what's going on here. Let's read it quickly. It's been 1 week since you sent a cease and desist letter to me demanding that I delete the tweet in which I called you out for raping boys in the Ohio Valley in the mid-2000s, which you did. I told you to get fucked. Where is the swift and certain legal action? Here's the post when the person got the letter. J.D. Vance just had a local constable deliver a cease and desist letter about the tweet below from someone named Chris Ashby, who interestingly does not appear to even represent the VP. It threatens to pursue swift and certain legal action. Swift and certain, huh? Here's the tweet that child rapist J.D. Vance demanded I delete and apologize to him. I mean, he's calling the man a child rapist here, just in plain language. He's not even doing it like the Pizzagate people. using like pedo or anything like that. Straight up child rapist. Holy fuck, man. I will never delete it, nor will I apologize to you, you fucking pedophile. Again, this isn't some fringe person that no one knows about. This is someone with a following that's done journalistic work. They are known. That tweet has 29.6 million views, and I'll keep boosting it until it is the most viewed tweet in Twitter history. 29 million. And it's not in court yet. And here's the actual tweet in question. You changed your name 3 times because you kept getting caught raping children in the Ohio Valley. And I have witnesses who can and will testify against you on this. I cannot wait to put you in prison, blah, 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 blah. Again, this isn't some fringe lunatic here. This is someone that has some things to lose. And they get views like 29 million. And they're saying JD the couch fucker is not a couch fucker. He's a child rapist. And this ain't in court yet. And Leon didn't take it down for misinformation. What's up with that? I have to, I have to ask as well, where's the swift and certain legal action at? And if that legal action doesn't come very soon, what are we all supposed to think? And I know you guys will just sweep this shit under the rug like you do the Trump Epstein evidence, which is a lot, by the way. You'll just pretend that didn't happen. Again, this is a known journalist making the most serious of allegations against the vice president. And it's gotten 30 million views, and all we've gotten so far is a cease and desist letter. Whatever, man. Huge breaking per CTV News. Mark Carney, Liberal Party declared winner of Canadian election. Well, it's nice to see the Canadians take the Reich seriously and made sure they didn't vote for a Reich man, because Donnie was endorsing the other man and so was Putin. So that's how you know that that person's bought and paid for. And your country would have went the way of good old America. America is over Canada. I don't know if you know that. You're going to watch a true horror movie take place in the next few years here. And you're probably going to be safe for most of it until Donnie, like, invades your country or something, which will probably happen, unfortunately, for you. Unfortunately for us as well, because I don't want war with Canada. I never did. So that's probably going to happen. You guys will be safe. All the ships that used to go to ports in California and America will now go to ports in Canada, and they will have all the products that we don't have. And they will be watching a literal horror show take place in America over the next few years. And they'll be shocked to see what goes on. And all I have to say to Canadians is, thank Jesus you're a Canadian. Because Americans is about to suffer big fucking time. And I don't enjoy saying that, and I don't want it to happen. But you chose it. You chose the apocalypse. Canada didn't. They chose to keep their country for a while. Hopefully next election will continue the momentum to keep their country, because we've lost ours. Forever. It's not coming back. I'm sorry. I would love to have the optimism some of you people have. You're talking about the next election, midterms, whatever. None of that's going to happen, son. Donnie's not leaving. Did he leave last time? No. Not until someone got shot. Oh, here's Donnie. The radical left Democrats are paying a fortune to have people infiltrate the town halls of Republican Congress, men and women and senators. All right, I'm not going to read the rest of it. There's no point. All it is Donnie once again projecting. He goes on to talk about that people are being paid to do this as well. None of that is happening. Here's what it is. Thousands of people got fired. There's been layoffs already. Certain car manufacturers are leaving America. The ports are empty. Things cost more. Businesses are being ruined. Leon is waving chainsaws around on stage and throwing up Nazi salutes as people lose everything, and it's intentional. So no, there's a reason the Republican town halls look like fucking horror shows. Because even the Rubes starting to notice. And eventually everyone's going to notice as this Reich is more and more revealed. Although it's been pretty revealed now. You saw the Nazi salute. You saw the death camp in El Salvador. You don't walk out of there, son. Do you know that? That's for life, son. That Seacott place. I don't know the men that are there, but I doubt all of them deserve life sentences without parole. And do I think Bukele is going to keep these men alive and fed for the rest of their lives? Absolutely fucking not. As soon as the heat's off, it's extermination time, baby. It's probably already been extermination time. You ain't fooling me with this bullshit. So no one's being paid to go to these town halls. People are legitimately mad. We're already talking about bailing out the farmers. We're 3 fucking months in, son. The ports are empty. Do you know what that's going to do? Maybe that's what they want. People freaking out because there's no product on the shelves. Maybe that's the goal. You're going to see that real soon. Because everybody in trucking and involved with the ports, they're posting a lot of things that I'm reading. And they're horrified at what they're seeing. Horrified, son. So people are legit pissed. We're already talking bailouts for farmers, a nice socialist handout for the farmers that hate socialism. Unbelievable, the pace of this. Again, that's why I really, every day I wake up, that time frame I gave of 3.5 years, which I got from the Cliff Notes, by the way. That's not my time frame. But I'm not God. I don't know when to start that countdown. But I have a feeling I'm pretty much on point with that one. Because my God, the amount of abominations that took place today, son. They're getting bold and outright with it too. But we'll get to that. Mind blown and pissed off, my granddaughter found the perfect dress for her uncle's wedding on Temu. It was marked down to $19. I went ahead and ordered it, and after I hit the purchase now button, I got a receipt for $54. I couldn't figure out what I did wrong, so I went to my receipt, and look what happened. I was charged $31.44 import fee. The dress was only $19. That's called the Donnie Shitbags fee. The tariff griff fee. You know, the money that Donnie has access to as we lose, I don't know, 20 trillion in the stock market. You remember when Joe was in, it was up at 45,000, right? You remember that? Trillions of dollars so people can pay, what is this, a 20-some dollar fee? Where's it at? Import charges $31. The product she's ordering doesn't even cost $31, son. Do you hear me? Temu isn't the problem. Donnie Shitbags is. But you all know that. But you'll follow his coattails, or you'll ride his coattails all the way to the abyss. Unfortunately for you and us. Widespread power outage hits Spain and parts of Portugal. This is the headline I woke up to from the New York Times. And yes, Spain, Portugal, some parts still don't have power. I mean, talking mass, large, entire countries, damn near, without power. I've heard that about half has been restored. And it might take about a week to get all the rest of it back on. And they really have no idea how it happened. They're citing a weird weather event, but they're not sure. Some people, word on the street is maybe it was a Russian type of attack on infrastructure. No one knows. We don't have a free and fair press in this country anymore. That's the convicted felon in the White House saying that, by the way. The adjudicated rapist, defamer, fraud, and tried to overthrow the U.S. government and stole 3,000 classified documents. He's saying we don't have a fair press anymore. We have a press that writes bad stories, cheats, big on polls. It is compromised and corrupt, sad. That's all in caps at the bottom, the cheats and polls and all that. So you saw the polls recently. Donnie's in the 30s. His disapproval is much higher than his approval. So Donnie's seeing all these polls and he's getting mad as he's looting and dismantling your country, trying to install a Reich, and eventually will ask for your worship. Donnie thinks he runs the world, which we'll get to, him literally saying that. So he doesn't like bad polls. He doesn't care what actual reality is. He doesn't care about you or me or our lives or what's going on, how badly we're suffering. Donnie's grifting a fortune. That's all that matters. And we better not see negative polls and people complaining as they're losing everything, as they're watching their country disappear before their eyes. Not that they ever believed in the premise of this country. They just liked when their team won every now and then. That's all that mattered to these rubes. That's why they lost everything. That's why we lost everything. So any poll that's negative regarding Donnie, he wants the press to be portrayed as an enemy. They cheat, blah, blah, blah. Again, Donnie projects all his qualities onto everyone else. Here's Temu again. Someone verified the initial Temu claims. This is important. I know a lot of you people like shopping this way. Threw a few items into a Temu cart to verify for myself after seeing the screenshots circulating, and it's true. In case you didn't know, according to the figures I've been able to find, there are 152 million Americans who use Temu daily. Did you hear that, son? 152 million Americans daily. This single issue alone could sink him. This is also a fantastic kitchen table conversation. Opening subject: if you're looking for a way to get someone engaged politically who has not previously been paying attention, that's all. Not the point of this exercise. I think everyone's pretty much made their mind up, and it's going to take some horrid horror before everyone's eyes. Maybe there'll be some mass conversion that I'm not seeing. That'd be great if there is, but probably not. Okay, items total $70, subtotal $111, shipping $3, sales tax $10, import charges, son, $123 on a $111 purchase. Did you hear me, son? What is it going to do to Temu's business? One, what is it going to do to all you people that, order shit online like, you're buying Tic Tacs? Holy fuck, man. So that's now verified. They threw a few items in. They wanted to see what the import charge was. Import charge on $111 worth of merchandise, survey says. Plus 123 import charges, survey says $246. The Donnie shitbags effect. Perfect illustration. I just wanted my $111 worth of stuff. Oh, that's going to be $246, sir. What the fuck is this shit? The grift tax is more than the fucking item I bought. What have you rubes done? You amaze me. How easily you just gave it away. Oh, this is a picture of the port, and the person's talking about the port in Seattle. Not a single international cargo ship at the port of Seattle. That's the Donnie shitbags effect, baby. The port is effectively dead. Before I read this, I saw a statement from the what are those guys called? The Longshoremen Union for America. Man, they pissed off. They wrote this thesis length fuck you about tariffs. They are so pissed off. You know why? Because they all about to get laid the fuck off. That's why. Let me continue. The port is effectively dead. The last ship from China will clock at a West Coast port on the 29th. That was dock, not clock. I'm sorry, my glasses are dirty. And the last Chinese ship will dock on the East Coast around May 10th. After that, there will be no more shipments arriving from China. We're about to hit a level of scarcity at retailers nationwide that will make COVID seem like child's play. Don't believe me? Just take a ride on the ferry to Seattle and look south. The port is a ghost town. And yeah, once you get behind on product shipments, once Donnie decides to, hit the button on the grift again and take the tariffs away, it's going to take a month or two to even remotely catch up on what's missing. Do you realize that? These ships don't go at the speed of sound. You know what I'm saying, son? They real slow, and they traveling over big oceans. And then, Donnie wants to seize the Suez and the Panama Canal and charge him even more money, so it might take even longer. When I hear ports are empty at a consumer-based culture like America, that's quite concerning, wouldn't you say? I think it is. I know how you people love to buy thing after thing after thing. What are you going to do? What are the truckers, longshoremen, etc. going to fucking do? Because again, once Donnie hits the button on the grift, and what I mean by hitting the button on the grift is every time he turns the tariffs off, the market jumps way back up. So Donnie and his buddies make fucking billions on that shit. Every single time he does it. But the problem for you and I with Donnie's grift is they ain't no product going to be on the shelves. And once Donnie again hits the button, it's going to take a month or two to even remotely catch up. But again, maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the way to fast track the chaos and the people out on the streets so they can crack down full Reich. Because we're almost at full Reich. We're very close. If you're in the death camp in El Salvador, you're in the full Reich now. You're getting the full Reich experience. We ain't there yet, but we will be, don't worry. Many of us. Again, this will be horrors you cannot fathom. Again, that's why I'm on this fucking camera right now talking to you. Because that's how serious it is. And it doesn't matter whether you believe, again, you'll believe, don't worry. You will believe, don't worry. I promise you. After that, there will be no more shipments arriving from China. We're about to hit a level of scarcity at retailers nationwide that will make COVID seem like child's play. Don't believe me? Just take a ride on the ferry to Seattle and look south. The port is a ghost town. That's people's jobs you're talking about, son. That's just not an empty port. That ripple effect will cascade into everything, every retailer, just everything. Right on down to us. It's going to be ugly. Maybe that's what they're looking for. Who knows? Oh, Donnie wanted to bring up Act Blue and how it's some evil organization funding Democrats. No, it's just a way for Democrats to raise money. Republicans have all kinds of ways they raise money, different organizations, etc. They just want to end it because it funds Democrats. That's the point. He's trying to do what Hitler did. Just cut the liberals off at the knees and eventually imprison them. That might sound good to you, but the problem is, to an uneducated rube, stuff like that sounding good, the people they don't like getting locked up, eventually, son, that comes to your door and you get locked up. But it's way too late for you to hear that message. The keys have already been handed over again. I'm just here to guide you through it, son. Because I doubt I'll help many change their mind. Because as I've said so many times, all of you walking around out there, you all think you're the wise ones. You all know best. That's why we're in the apocalypse. Because you knew best. So Adam Kinzinger is being honest about a group that funds Republicans called Win Red. It looks like this. Oh my God, that must be evil and nefarious, right? It funds Republicans. Well, if it's a GOP agenda, yeah, it probably is evil and nefarious. I mean, look who the people in the Reich are. They're all GOP people. But Win Red is the same as Act Blue, just the red version. Adam Kinzinger. As the federal government considers investigating Act Blue, I can report that I sat through a meeting where the Republicans literally patterned their version of it called Win Red as identical. They even follow me screenshot for when they unfollow in a panic soon. So Win Red follows Adam Kinzinger on social media. That's what he means by that. Put the window down for a moment. So no, Act Blue isn't some evil, fringe, weird terrorist organization. It's just a way Democrats finance themselves, just like Win Red helps finance Donnie and all his people. Same concept. The Office of Personnel Management will start assessing federal employees' loyalty to President Trump. You heard that, right? Assessing loyalty to a man, not the Constitution. I thought you patriots out there, I thought we were supposed to be loyal to the Constitution, not a cult leader. What happened to that mentality? I keep forgetting. When there's an R next to it, it's okay that it's a king. When there's an R next to it, it's okay if it's Hitler or the devil or whatever, because it has an R next to it. It's a shame, again, that's your existence. What a country we could have had otherwise. If you actually had some beliefs, some standards. Now we got a God that's all about loyalty to him. Loyalty or worship of him. And we'll get more into that. Again, Office of Personnel Management will start assessing federal employees' loyalty to President Trump. That doesn't sound dystopian at all, right? Doesn't sound Reichy or Hitlery at all, right? Ed Martin appeared on Russian state television some 150 times, gladly contributing to Russian propaganda efforts. Should end his nomination to be a U.S. attorney. Yeah, it should end his nomination, but it won't. All the sycophants have gotten in. I assume Mr. Martin will get in. We've seen Mr. Martin before. He's the one that sends like threatening letters to random people saying he's going to put them in prison. He's a total sycophant. And he's another Russian-owned traitor. Literally. So that's kind of sad. Let's take a look at him. Get a good look. I want you to see all the traitors. They're certainly looking at you, son. Don't be afraid to look at them. You're going to want to know who destroyed your nation. Trust me. I run the country and the world. That's where I got the title from. Donnie Shitbags, the Orange Messiah. What have I been saying for months, or what did I say back at the beginning of this? Donnie thinks he's Caesar. He thinks he controls the world. He thinks he has the right to own the Suez, the Panama, Gaza, Canada, Greenland, etc. And anyone doing business in the entire world is supposed to pay him tribute because he's Caesar, because he allows it. I told you all these things months ago. This is how he thinks. Any federal money is his money. Why should he share it with you? Be you Kentucky, Arkansas, or whatever. He's proving that, is he not? He just turned down Sarah Sanders. He just turned down the governor of Kentucky for federal money because that's Donnie's money. All these employees he's firing, that's Donnie and Leon's money in the form of contracts, welfare. Because without it, Leon's businesses would be nothing. Absolutely nothing. I wouldn't have saw the rocket I saw flying through the sky tonight without your money, without welfare, without a handout to the richest man in the world. So the Atlantic did this interview. I run the country and oh, shout out to Big Jeff Goldberg. Love that guy. I run the country and the world. That's a quote. Donald Trump's comeback has convinced him that he's invincible. Read what he told Ashley Parker and Michael Scherer in our new cover story. It's their cover story. So I'm sure it was said because they don't want to get sued. And Jeff Goldberg ain't stupid. So one more time, I want to stay on this for a minute. I run the country and the world. Again, I keep saying things on camera in front of you good people. Said these things months ago. He thinks he's Caesar. Nobody believed it. That's just talk about Greenland and Canada and all that and China. And that he thinks he's king and he's never going to leave. And that he's Caesar. And that he wants worship. Death camps? No way. Nazis salute? Again, I said Donnie thinks he's Caesar, and everyone who does major business across the globe, needs to pay him tribute. That's the way he looks at it. All federal money is his. What does that mean, class? That means that tariff money last time and this time, Donnie sees that as his money, his grift, and you best not fuck with it. He'll tank the market 15 trillion, son. Do you hear me? To run that grift. He says the tariffs are making 500 million, whatever, billions, whatever. Have you seen any of it? Absolutely not, and you never will. That's Donnie's money. Why do you think he's so intent on these tariffs? Think of it how a child looks at it. Well, I'm in charge of the office. I'm the president. So when I charge tariffs, that's my money. He says it's making America money. And I told you, whenever he writes the word America in a post, especially in the context of it's making America money, replace that word with the word M-E. It's making me money. It's the only reason to have billionaires wanting to kill you, because you're costing them billions in the market. Because you view that as your money that you can put your hand in. Sovereign Wealth Fund, same thing. Bitcoin scam that's coming up, the Donnie Coin meeting, same thing. All makes him a trillionaire. That's all he cares about. And I mean, that's all he cares about. One more thing, he cares about worship. He's proving that more and more. I run the country and the world, says Donnie Shitbags, the convicted felon, traitor to his nation. One more time, I told you he thinks he's Caesar. Anyone who does business in this country or around the globe should pay him. They should pay him for access to the Suez, to the Panama. They should use his Donnie coin. That's where it's all going. And then eventually, again, let me boil it all down for you. That the end goal, the end road of all this bullshit I talk about, what Donnie's doing, all this distraction, shit, deportations, this, that, the chaos, The point of it all is to get to one road or one goal, one destination. A temple on the Israeli Temple Mount, and Donnie being worshipped as some type of God Caesar. Worship. Via worship of Donnie, you are worshiping Satan. That mark thing that's coming, there will be some renunciation involved. You can't be tricked into it. That's the end goal of all this. You turning away from the real God and worshiping an imp, whose prince is a guy who leaves his house in orange face and buys cheap Home Depot trim and spray paints it gold and puts it in the Oval Office sun. Who makes commercials with gold statues of himself and a Trump Gaza resort in Gaza. I run the country and the world. Don't worry, we'll get back to this. The economy is breaking and no one's ready. 54% of job seekers say it's taking 6+ months to find work. LinkedIn, April 2025. When I see them say labor market is strong, oy vey, the average laid off worker gets less than 2 months severance. And y'all, that's before taxes. Credit card delinquencies 90+ days just hit 11%, the highest since 2011. Over 60% of banks are tightening credit access. You're facing a 6-month job search with maybe 5 weeks of cash left after taxes. Fall 90+ days behind on credit, collections, lower scores, wage garnishments, or repossession. We all know that, right? And we aren't even diving into housing or inflation yet. Wonder when the headlines will catch up. Oh, well, they'll catch up when the shelves are empty. That's when the awakening will come for everybody, I'm sure. Besant on if he's concerned about empty shelves. This is a reporter, Fox News, asking Mr. Besant. Not at present. We have some great retailers. I assume they pre-ordered. That's what, the Treasury Secretary saying that? I assume they pre-ordered. So when the shelves are empty when you get to the store, just think back to Mr. Besant's comment, who's like a billionaire, by the way. You don't got to worry about shit. I assume they pre-ordered. Wow, that's... I feel better. Do you feel better? I bet you do. Got a quote for a purchase today, and it had a $77 tariff surcharge. I am 100% Trump, but how do we get charged a tariff surcharge for purchasing a foreign-made item? Someone with more knowledge explain this to me, please. If you start bashing my president, I will remove you from my friends list. Isn't that just like a rube? To complain to everyone out here, to cry on everyone's shoulder about the guy that put the knife in their back. And then they put a caveat on their statement at the end because they want to make sure you know they're a good cult member. And they ain't getting too uppity. The caveat, if you start bashing my president, your president put a knife in your back, son. Your president cost you $77. Going to cost you a lot more, too. And it's also he can grift. That's his money. And then when he manipulates the market by turning the tariffs off, that's his money, too. Again, people have been shouting about tariffs for 10 fucking years. You watched him do it during the first administration, yet you're 100% the guy that just knifed you. Incredible. Rubery is a fascinating phenomenon. Rubery. Rubery and greed will literally, or has literally, cost us our entire existence on this planet. I know you don't know where this is going. I know you can't fathom where this is going, but I can. And I do. And it's just astounding to me that rubery and greed did this. And it's taken, what, a little over 3 months for just our empire to be utterly ruined. All because some people knew better. All because they equated God and Jesus with Donnie shitbags and GOP politics. But that's just some of you. For a lot of you, it's about race. And let's be honest, that's always been a core part of right-wing politics. The racial and nationalist identity. Some of you, it's that. So it's not stupidity per se, it's bias and hate. Then there's those of you at the top. Some of you may be biased and hate, but what you really want is the tax cuts. I know. Those three things: rubery, hate, greed at the top, cost us our entire existence in this world. And it's going to a place you poor people watching this, including the bots, don't even fucking fathom. And even someone like me who knows exactly what's going to happen. It doesn't make it any easier or better. I just know. That's all. Anyway, let's continue. Breaking: Portugal's grid operator blames a rare atmospheric phenomena for widespread power outages and disruption expected to last up to a week. Details suspiciously vague as cascading infrastructure failures mount across Europe. Yeah, no one really knows what happened. That was an awful big power outage for no one to know what happened. And, you know, it makes me lean towards maybe it was some type of attack. Because all kind of moves are being made by all kind of people. Once Donnie got in, the trajectory of everyone changed. Vlad's been making bigger and bolder moves against other European countries besides Ukraine. Maybe this is one of them. I don't know. You have to be kidding me. This is absolute insanity. Oh yeah, they had DC Drano sitting in the media seat at the White House today. And they did a whole infomercial for him. And then DC Drano, the right-wing podcast personality, whatever the fuck shill he is, he asked a very loaded propaganda question to start things off, just like Tim Pool did. I imagine these questions get rehearsed ahead of time. They sound that bad when they're asked. When Timmy asked his questions, the abject paid shill for Russia, Tim Pool. Today, the DC Drano guy, hey, next week maybe Alex Jones. Right in the White House press room. Wouldn't that be progress? When Russian or paid shills for Russia are sitting in your White House press room and everyone knows it, and when DC Drano is sitting in your White House press room as an honored guest, that's the end of your country, son. I hope you realize that. It ain't funny. It ain't cute. It's the end of an empire. Again, that's why I don't debate you people. What's the point? You already put the stake or the last nail in the coffin of America. And you'll learn that in time. You're not in the gulag yet. You will be, don't worry. I definitely will be. So yes, DC Drano in the press room. It was amazing. The very unserious White House press briefing room now has the DC Drano guy asking questions. DC Drano. Oh, is this him? I've never seen what this particular shill looks like. I don't know if that's him, but that's the picture they got. They're all so forgettable. They had Homan up there too today. Look at his miserable ass. Oh my God, that guy is walking misery. Nothing but an aging sack of hate right there, boy. Oof, that Homan motherfucker. Pam Bondi was on Fox and Friends today in front of a line of printed out mug shots. Yes, here's that picture. Isn't that great? We've got mug shots of people sent to the death camp. And we have no idea if they're guilty of the charges written on the placards. What you had is men's faces that have been shipped off to the death camp and their crimes they allegedly committed at the bottom. And I really have to question you rubes out there. You're all about locking criminals up and deporting criminals, even U.S. citizens. Donnie's a convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, adjudicated defamer, adjudicated fraud. Donnie tried to overthrow the government. Donnie stole 3,000 classified documents. Where's his prison sentence? Why aren't we deporting him? Why isn't his picture on the lawn? Oh, that's right. You guys don't care about crime. You're just racist. I forgot. Never mind. Never mind. I'm asking the wrong people. This is the judge. Again, don't forget this. They've moved to the phase of arresting judges they don't like after they burst into their fucking courtroom and cause abject chaos and let the people they're going after walk right by them in the hallway. Who do they blame it on? They blame it the judge, that they were standing there playing with their cell phones or whatever they were doing as one of the subjects of their alleged, investigation or whatever. Walked right by. Yeah, blame the judge. Well, that was the point. Why do you think they're raiding courtrooms? They want a problem with a judge they don't like. They got it. That now they perp walked her. Again, the right's at the point where they're arresting judges. I told you again for months. I'm tired of being right. I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. I said they're going to get tired of all the court rulings slowing the right down, didn't I? I said it over and over again. As the ruling after ruling came in the first month, I said the Reich will not tolerate this. They're going to put a stop to it. This is the beginning of that. Again, we're a little over 3 months in. Death camp in El Salvador, you never walk out of. We have no idea who was sent there, what they've done or not done. The one innocent man we know about, they're doing everything to keep him there. Even if they admitted in court they shouldn't have sent him. Nazi salutes again. Talking about deporting U.S. citizens that are in prison. Annexation talk. Arresting judges they don't like, just like Hitler did, just like Bukele did. It's not going to stop with Dugan. It's not even going to stop with the judges. The administration's position is that state and local officials must assist the federal government in its immigration crackdown or face prosecution. No, getting to the judge is the point. They could care less about the people they're arresting. Again, remember who's sending these people out. A convicted felon who leaves his house in orange face every day, who falls asleep at the Pope's funeral. That fucking guy. That's who's having judges arrested. The guy who's about to start selling a $5 million Donnie Gold card straight from the White House. Going to be printed up with your tax money, I guarantee. It got nutlick all over it, making it happen. Amazing. Again, with the signs, this is the White House verified account. Where's Donnie's picture in that lawn? Or on that lawn? Chess, not checkers. They're calling deporting people to a death camp chess. Chess. MSNBC finally reports on the child rapists, murderers, fentanyl dealers, violent illegal aliens Biden let loose to destroy our communities. Thankfully, the Trump administration is hunting them down. None of that's true. Why is fentanyl always brought up? Always the same excuses by the Reich to violate people's rights and do evil. It's always lies. More fentanyl goes into Canada than comes into America via Canada. Yet they use fentanyl as an excuse to annex Canada. They use fentanyl at the southern border as an excuse. Meanwhile, the doctor in the last administration, Donnie's administration, was handing out pills like Tic Tacs. None of you people, again, believe in anything. You just parrot these lines because that's all you got. When you're doing evil, you have to resort to shit like this. Lies and propaganda. Again, Donnie's an adjudicated rapist, defamer, fraud, tried to overthrow the government, stole 3,000 classified documents. Where is his prison sentence? Why aren't you people screaming about that? It's almost as if you're abject hypocrites. Those of you with your name on this. And that you don't really believe in anything. This is disgusting. The pictures on the lawn is disgusting. The White House account tweeting this, calling it chess. They wouldn't know a chessboard if it slapped them in the face, son. There ain't a chess player among these motherfuckers. There's just criminals. There's just liars. There's just people willing to step on anyone in service of more for them. It doesn't take smarts. It just takes ruthlessness. It just takes sociopathy. It just takes psychopathy. That's all. All lies. This is all complete fucking lies right here that I read to you. And no, it's not chess. I don't know about you, Rubes. I personally don't think sending people to a death camp in El Salvador, a third world shithole dictatorship, I don't think that's chess. I think that's a Reich. A Nazi-style racist Reich. Again, your name's on it. Your money's paying for it, son. If I were you, I'd take your name off it as quick as possible. Oh, this is Kristi Noem thanking the Secret Service for getting her purse and every single thing inside it back. No, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. This tells me it was all a publicity stunt, in my opinion. The purse was probably never stolen. It was all publicity. So Miss Noem, the puppy killer, could say it was an evil, illegal immigrant that did it. Got past all my security, got past me in a restaurant, got my purse. These damn illegal immigrants. Just another way to further demonize the people, she takes photos in front of in a death camp. It's funny, they only let right-wing GOP people in the death camp. Did you notice that? It's almost as if those right-wing people are on the wrong side of it. That they're welcomed with open arms by a dictator who's running a death camp in a third world shithole. When the Democrat shows up, the senator, oh, well, we got to hide everything from him. We can't let him see nothing. Okay, this is DC Drano after his big debut in the White House. Media is already losing their minds over my question about Trump suspending the writ of habeas corpus to deport millions of illegals. So DC Drano was brought in to ask the propaganda question. Um, Maybe we need to get rid of due process. Reich? Right, Reich? Oh yeah, that's a great idea, Mr. Drano. That's what the discourse in the press room at the White House has been reduced to, Rubes. Thanks, Rubes. Again, son, when you're advocating, I don't care if you hate the people because of their skin color, whatever. When you're advocating for getting rid of due process, I know I'm talking to stone-headed Rubes, but where do you think that goes, son? Pick up a history book. Don't watch wrestling for one night and pick up a history book, son. Where do you think the abolition of due process goes? Oh, well, it goes to dictatorship, and it goes to your fucking doorstep. I wonder if you'll think the administration is playing chess when you the one on the plane, son. I bet you won't. So the reason DC wrote this was in response to what a lawyer wrote. This person is not a journalist or a lawyer, and I just found them recently, and I love they're very concise and good at what they do. That's why they're in my feed. So DC must have saw a comment by them. In fact, he put it here. Oh my God, the first question Levitt gets is from a far-right influencer who butters up Trump, then asks if and when Trump should suspend the writ of habeas corpus for deportations to get around judges. Not joking. They've been pushing this on the right for about a week now. So that's what DC Drano is calling a journalist. The man isn't a journalist. And he's saying that, the liberal media is all mad about this. The regular media. No, everyone's mad about this. That knows what's up. No one wants to see due process go away. That's all we got, people. Once that goes away, forget about it. They can grab anyone. But, most of you out there are not smart enough to grasp that concept. You all think you're invincible and the Reich will never touch you. Kind of reminds me of like all the people that got promoted in government recently, and they went back to probationary status because of their promotion, as if they were a new employee. And the AI that Leon and the Hitler Youth installed just said, okay, probationary, fuck off. Because the Reich doesn't care about any of them. They all thought they were special, though. I got a promotion over my fellow coworkers. I'm the boss now. I'm special. I got perfect evaluation scores. Guess what, son? The Reich and AI don't care about what the fuck you got on your evaluation. All they looking for is an excuse to get rid of you. You a cow. You a number. You nothing. And that's any company you work for, government you work for, whatever, in this country, in America. All of you are nothing. As important as so many of you think you are. They'll lay you the fuck off tomorrow if they need to give the board another $100 each this quarter. They'd lay you the fuck off. Government, especially when you got a Reich and you got AI being installed to mass fire people. So this attitude that, who cares about due process? It ain't going to affect me. It reminds me of the people that got promoted in government and they voted Donnie shitbags. When Donnie and Leon promised to get rid of every fucking body. They did it anyway because they thought they were special. They thought they were better and the Reich would never fuck them over. The Reich would never treat them like a worthless piece of cattle. They got promoted. They got good eval scores. Nope, the Reich proved doesn't care about anyone. You're nothing. And it shit canned you, and it didn't even take a human being to do it. That's how little you're worth to them. Once due process is over, we'll all be basically nothing who can be arrested on a whim and disappeared forever. Like those men in the death camp in El Salvador. That was just to get the door open, you rubes. I can't wait to see what you guys do when they come for the guns. I bet you'll just hand them the fuck over, right? Of course you will. Of course you will. Here's the lawyer. First, I'm not a member of the media, and my position is that anyone advocating for suspending the writ of habeas corpus because they don't like due process is spitting on the legacy of those who fought and died for this country and our Constitution. Well, they're spitting on themselves. They're spitting in their whole family's face. They're spitting in their neighbor's face. They're spitting in everyone's face. Because that now turns our country into, well, they can just grab anyone. We don't need due process. What the fuck is that? Well, that's what our country used to be based on till Rubery won the day. Till Vlad got in all your malleable heads for the past 20 years. So yeah, this guy he's not in media, he's a lawyer, and he's basically commenting on due process and saying, yeah, the Reich's trying to convince you it's a good idea to get rid of due process. Again, this DC Drano guy is worthless right-wing fucking hack, who I didn't even know existed, is sitting in the White House delivering a rehearsed propaganda question based on getting rid of due process, son. Does you realize you in a Reich? Does you realize it's the apocalypse? Does you realize America was over in November? We waist deep in it now. Only because we ain't the ones in the gulag yet. But a lot of us will be. Don't worry. And some of it will be rubes. Again, you didn't just get you don't just get to vote straight evil and walk away this time. I'm sorry. You did it. I fucking didn't. Let's go to the next thing. I thought this statement was brilliant and a very kind of nice way to say it, way nicer than I say it. It doesn't matter how far you got down the wrong road, turn around. Again, what have I been saying for 10 years? Get out of the cult while you still can. As you debated your Fox News talking points, as you parroted it, so many of you in my social media journey, I watched you parrot the talking points, and I said one thing back to you. Get out of the cult while you still can. Time is growing very short now. It's not like when I started 10 years ago. This is crunch time. Why do you think I'm on camera at 1 in the fucking morning, dead tired and ill? It doesn't matter how far you got down the wrong road, turn around. What have I been saying for these past months since Donnie won again? Turn the other way, turn away. Get your name off it. I would not want my name on this shit, boy, because it's growing in evil at an exponential pace. And if nothing else in this hard existence I've led, I can at least say I never put my name on the Antichrist. And I tried to talk, tried to spread the message. Don't follow him. Don't take the gift he wants to give you. Turning around is wise, but MAGA's road leads straight to 1930s Germany. Yeah, we're there. Blind loyalty to a strong leader, nativism dressed as nostalgia, and a chokehold on dissent. History screams authoritarianism doesn't make nations great, it makes them graves. Indeed, that's someone else that commented on the original post. It makes them graves. Yes. What did I say? I see coming death. Death. Pure evil and death. What do we have so far? Death camps, Nazi salutes, Donnie coin, talk of owning Gaza, talk of running the world, gold Donnie statues, tariffs out the ass, empty ports, Dow lost 10 trillion, talk of annexation. Again, men sent to death camps that they never leave. The first question to Levitt during the White House new media briefing: I can attest to the deportations in Florida. My Uber drivers finally speak English again. This is the woman that said that. I don't know who she is. I meant to get her name today, but Spicy's over there. Sean Spicy Spicer is back. And he laughed when she said that. In the White House press room, some business suit cunt. I can attest to the deportations in Florida. My Uber drivers finally speak English again. Again, Sean Spicy Spicer is back. So you have an ex-spokesman for the Reich doing rehearsed propaganda with the current spokesman for the Reich, Miss Levitt, Skeletor. Sean Spicer, whose Newsmax show was canceled 2 years ago, is asking Carolyn Levitt questions as part of the White House's new media briefing. So we've got DC Drano, we've got Tim Pool last week, we got Sean Spicy Spicer, who got shit canned from the press job last time. Ended up on Dancing with the Stars. The motherfucker got so desperate. Now he's back. Class restored to the briefing room, right? We've got, racist jokes being told. That just occurred to me. Outright abject racist jokes being told where Miss Levitt laughs, Sean Fat Ass Spicy Spicer laughs. Then we've got Spicy asking his rehearsed propaganda question, an exchange of propaganda, if you will. We had DC Drano do a rehearsed propaganda exchange. So we went from, do you hear me, people? We went from a propaganda question asking when's a good time to get rid of due process in America, son. Then we go right to a racist joke told by a business suit cunt. Then we go to Spicy Spicer with his rehearsed propaganda question. It's over. Our country is over. Our press room is now has been made a sycophant joke. Pure propaganda that fucking Hitler would be proud of first thing in the fucking morning. With all kind of good little sycophants willing to be the mouth for ending due process. Willing to be the propaganda mouthpiece saying that about America. And son, let me get real close. If you are in favor in any way, shape, or form of getting rid of due process, you are a traitor to this nation. There's no getting around it. You're just a fucking traitor. You don't believe in the Constitution. You don't believe in anything. You believe in your team winning, and that's it. That's why you have no country, son. I'm very sorry. You made the choice. I did not. Now you reap the whirlwind for it. Again, not my whirlwind, Donnie shitbags, and eventually the man's whirlwind. And boy, you ain't gonna like that. Holy fuck, you're not gonna like that. So Spicy's back, DC Drano, and business suit cunt making abject racist jokes in front of the whole nation. Really classing it up, Rubes. Again, I heard they're going to have Alex Jones in the media seat next week. Oh, here's Rep. Clay Higgins, another abject, straight-up traitor to America. There is a time where if someone said this, they'd probably be thrown in prison in America. We should arrest 100 more judges. Arrogant, elitist black robes have been raping our core principles. Raping, he says, for decades. If the DOJ needs a list, I have it. Here is a congressman, one that's been there a while, saying he has a list of judges he'd like to see arrested. He's saying 100 more judges should just be arrested. He didn't say they committed any crimes. He wants a movement, son. A Reich, if you will. That's what he's talking about here. A movement. Not arresting criminals. A movement. Where one side arrests the judges they don't like. That's fascism. That's why your country's over. Because Rep. Clay Higgins is comfortable enough to say that. That's how you know it's over. And again, anyone that supports that, what that man said, and him too, you're all traitors. To the Constitution, to your country, to everything. And that's not me saying that, that's the Constitution saying that, son. DeSantis loses it after he gets heckled about ripping off $10 million from Florida taxpayers for Casey's charity. Yeah, here's DeSantis. And he was like, come on, man, you shouldn't be saying that. That's a lie. You shouldn't be saying that. He wasn't very convincing. And there's word on the street is DeSantis and his wife stole $10 million of money from the government somewhere to put in this charity that they have, that they shouldn't have taken. And when DeSantis rebuked the person yelling out that he took the money, he was not very convincing. The cruel actions we've seen thus far are pure demonstrations of fascist power against mostly innocent individuals on the exclusive basis of their ethnicity. If they really wanted to stop undocumented workers, they would target the businesses that hire them. Oh, here's the White House account again. We will hunt you down. You will face justice. You will be deported, and you will never set foot on American soil again. Oh, and your mugshot may just end up on a yard sign at the White House. Again, where's Donnie's picture? He's a criminal. He's a convicted felon. Why isn't Donnie's picture on the lawn? And again, people, we're at the point where when they put these signs up, they're openly celebrating sending people to death camps. And all this is, again, because of a convicted felon named Donnie Shitbags. So we've got, again, open celebration of sending people to death camps in all of our faces. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want my name on this. This is evil. Again, I run the country and the world. Donald Trump believes he's invincible, but the cracks are beginning to show by Ashley Parker and Michael Scherer. Here's what that looks like. And there's a reason I'm bringing it up multiple times. Again, I said Donnie thinks he's Caesar. He thinks all federal money is his. He thinks anyone doing business around the globe should pay him access for the Suez. He should own Gaza, Canada, Central America. And now he says, I run the country and the world. Yeah, where's this picture should be on the lawn. I don't know why it isn't there. Donnie got 34 felonies, convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, adjudicated defamer, adjudicated fraud, tried to overthrow the government, stole 3,000 classified documents. That's the short list. Where was Donnie's picture on the lawn today? Oh, that's right. Again, you people don't care about locking up criminals. You just want to lock up people you don't like. I didn't mean to sleep so hard. I woke up in North Korea. This is a pathetic display at the White House. Again, these are the real pictures. Yeah. Open celebration of sending people to a foreign death camp in a country they're not even from. And Donnie says he wants to send, what do you call them? The homegrowns. Remember that? So if you're a U.S. citizen in prison, that makes you a homegrown. That makes you acceptable to deport, according to Donnie Shitbags. And yes, those signs on the lawn was quite North Korea-esque. Trump on his second term, I run the country and the world. In the interview with The Atlantic, Trump was questioned about the difference between his 2 terms in the White House. The magazine's journalists noted sources telling them the president was having more fun on his second go-around. More fun, you say? With one insider suggesting his wrecking ball approach was now being carried out with a twinkle in his eye. Trump confirmed he is having a lot of fun considering what I do. That's a quote. And hinted he now had more freedom compared to 8 years ago. You ready for this? The first time I had 2 things to do, run the country and survive. I had all these crooked guys, he said. And the second time I run the country and the world. No, Donnie was the crooked guy. And there were guardrails in place during his first term to limit the damage he did. And they didn't limit it very much, son. Now he's acting like, oh, I've got all these honest people around me, and now I run the country and the world. He said this. That's a quote, son. So now you have the full context. It doesn't make it any better, does it? And again, I know the rubes out there, the bots, the trolls, and all that. They like the idea of a dictator as long as it's on their team and they think it won't touch them, but it's going to touch everybody. They're too stupid to know that. What I'm trying to say is, if you want that, if that's, you think that's a good thing, it's not. And you're just endorsing evil. And again, I'd take your name off that evil if I were you. One more time. Again, there's a reason I'm repeating this. There's a reason I'm going over it 3 and 4 times. Because again, I made a proclamation. I said for months, Donnie thinks he's Caesar. He thinks all federal money is his. If you want to use the Suez, you pay him. You want to use the Panama, you pay him. He said he wants to own Canada, Greenland. We're going to get it one way or the other. He said it. I'd like to not use military, but, you know, nothing's off the table. We're going to own Gaza, have American troops in a freedom zone. If you do business anywhere in the world, Donnie feels you owe him tribute, for he is allowing you to do business. That's the way he sees it. He wants to run a protection racket on Europe, extort them using the Suez as well, extort Egypt. He wants to run a protection racket on Canada. Again, I told you, he thinks he's Caesar. And the second time, I run the country and the world. I had to run the country and survive the first time. What do you mean survive? As if he was being persecuted or something. No, The people that had to survive, because I remember the plague, baby, were all of us. The people that lost their farms, people that lost their jobs. What does he mean? He had to survive. This is what I mean. He's a sociopath. It's all about him. Every moment is about him. He was president of the most powerful nation in the world that has a vast amount of problems he needed to deal with. He was worried about his survival because he's a worse than Nixon criminal. And people were calling him out on it and impeaching him for it. And this is why, because he thinks he's fucking Caesar. How do I know he thinks he's Caesar? Well, he just gave me the evidence. There's been plenty more evidence, but this is the ultimate evidence, isn't it? I run the country and the world. Yeah, that's the ultimate evidence that he thinks he's Caesar. It also lends credence to what I'm saying, that he will ask you to literally worship him in the future. And if you don't, it ain't going to go well for you. That's where this is going. Now, a guy that makes a statement, and the second time I run the country and the world, do you think maybe he would require worship at some point? The one who gives loyalty tests that include questions like, when did you have your MAGA revelation? The guy who, has commercials of him with gold statues on the Holy Land. Does that sound like someone that would require worship? It does to me. So again, I made a proclamation. I said this man thinks he's fucking Caesar. Here we go. And the second time I run the country and the world. Yeah, he thinks he's Caesar. Oh, this was interesting. A guy named David Korn did an investigation on Kash Patel receiving $25,000 from a Ukrainian Russian-American filmmaker who was part of a Putin-financed propaganda operation. Now, he put out a 4 or 5 minute video, and he explained in it, Mr. Korn, who did great work on this, by the way. Ballsy. He explained that Kash Patel received $25,000 from this filmmaker. And then he explained that this filmmaker had made a straight-up propaganda film for Putin, literally took money from the Kremlin. So he has ties to Russia, really strong ones. And this reporter wanted to know, hey, did that money you gave Kash come from Russia? In other words, did Russia give him a fucking payoff? The $25,000 that you ran through a film. So the reporter decided, okay, I'm going to call Kash up. He gets no response from Kash. He's going to call the guy up, gets no response from the guy. Then he decides, I'm going to go to his door and knock on the door. Just ask him a question. So when he asked him the question, the guy got very pissed off. And he went into this whole rant about how he didn't take Russian money and blah, blah, blah. Well, Mr. Korn didn't accuse him of taking Russian money. He just wanted to know where the $25,000 came from that he paid to Kash. The guy flipped out, said, I don't have to answer that. I don't take money from Russia, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he does. I can tell by the response. He wasn't asked that question. He felt like volunteering that information. That tells me all I need to know. President Trump is expected to sign an executive order requiring all truck drivers to speak English. They already did this in Arkansas. I showed you the video of the truck driver that said when he went to the weigh station, they threw him an English test and asked him a bunch of questions to make sure he could understand and speak English. So now it's going national. So I don't know what's going to happen to a lot of you truckers that don't speak English. Again, you're going to have another big shakeup in the trucking industry. The trucking industry basically is how all of us get the shit we buy every day. Do you understand that? So we've got no cargo at the ports. We're going to harass anyone who doesn't speak English that drives a truck. Man, it's going to get ugly. So many abominations today. I couldn't even keep track of them all. I was astounded at the pace. 2 members of Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency have been given accounts on classified networks that hold highly guarded details about America's nuclear weapons. 2 independent sources tell NPR. Great. 2 more Hitler Youth Doge people have access to the nuclear weapons and information about them. Gee, I wonder where that's going to end up. Again, another proclamation or statement I made that Doge is stealing all of our information. I figured they would share it with their masters, which is Russia. I just didn't think the literal evidence would come out. And again, remember the genius security architect who discovered that after Doge was in their system and made all these new accounts, 15 minutes later, the Russians had the account information and were trying to log in. So yeah, they're stealing all of our information and they're giving it to Russia and themselves. A list of all the Americans, their conditions they have, the money they have, their situations, all the investigations into various companies. That is priceless information to someone like Leon who runs companies. Priceless. Leon knows the value of that information. That's what he has now. That's what Vlad has. And the evidence is a security architect catching these motherfuckers. So here we have 2 more of them access to the nuclear secrets. Isn't that great? I feel so safe, don't you? J.D. Vance responds to the arrested Wisconsin judge. Again, this is going to show you J.D. slipping off the talking points. Clay Higgins slipping off the talking points. The talking point, the Reich-approved talking point is the judge committed a crime. The judge committed a crime. Mr. Higgins' talking points don't line up. Mr. Higgins sound like he's trying to start a movement where the Reich just arrests judges. Like Adolf fucking Hitler. Let's listen to what the couch fucker says. What we are really doing is fixing 40 years of accumulated bogus bureaucratic BS. We're fixing 40 years of judges thinking they rule the country instead of the American people. We're fixing 40 years of judges telling the American president what to do. It had to happen, and thankfully, we're getting it done. Again, that he didn't say the judge committed a crime, son. And that's the reason all this is happening. Those are the Reich-approved talking points. But Clay getting a little uppity, a little excited, his racist ass. JD's racist ass getting a little uppity, a little excited about the movement and the real agenda. And sometimes they just say it. So it ain't about a judge that committed a crime, obviously, or Mr. Higgins wouldn't be saying what he's saying. And the couch fucker wouldn't be saying what he's saying. Again, this sounds like a movement to me. It doesn't sound like they're alleging judges are actually committing crimes. It doesn't say they're alleging that this specific Wisconsin judge is committing crimes. They're describing a movement where a group of people I describe as a Reich arrest any judge they don't like. A bit of a contradiction here. So the judge didn't commit a crime. It's really about a movement of removing certain judges. Okay. I love when the Reich tells the truth. Wisconsin confirms that over 10% of its deer population is now infected with chronic wasting disease, or zombie deer disease. 10%. That sounds bad to me, and that ain't the only area. This thing keeps growing. It's been growing for decades to get to the point where it is now. And the deer, basically, their organs shut down. The thing like eats the deer from the inside. So what you've got walking around is a delirious, half-dead deer who's like a zombie, drooling all over the place, you know. That's why they call it what it's called. But if you eat the tainted deer meat and get this shit, you're basically dead, man. It's a serious thing. And when I hear things like 10% have it in an area, that makes me real skittish. And I'm glad I don't eat deer meat because, man, this shit sounds real bad when you get it. And it sounds like humans have been getting a condition that's associated with this deer zombie thing forever. It just, we never knew what caused it. I'm thinking what causes this condition, I forget the name of it, is this tainted deer meat. There's so many humans across the globe eating deer meat that go hunting. So it would make sense that this condition is global and it's been happening a long time, you know, forever. It's probably coming from tainted deer meat, and the doctors just never made the association. They're starting to now, though. President Trump delineated the contrast between his first and second terms. Again, I'm going to repeat this. The first time I had two things to do, run the country and survive. I had all these crooked guys. And the second time, I run the country and the world. Again, this is the Atlantic putting the rep on it in a quote. They know they get sued if they write a lie. I run the country and the world, says Caesar. Thanks, Roops. Oh, this is the press room again. Do you have any updates from the DOJ or the FBI on when those Epstein files are expected to be released? Miss Levitt says they're working on it. Again, there's death camps to fill up. They don't have time to release the Epstein files. And Donnie's name's all over it. You saw the video of Donnie and Epstein partying at Mar-a-Lago, right? Of course you did. So again, you know, the big priority is throwing people in the death camp in El Salvador. So, you know, we'll get to the Epstein files when we get to them. We never really cared about the children. Neither did the Rubes out there. They just spouted the talking points they heard on Alex Jones, Sardovich, Julian Assange, Vlad Putin. Straight up Russian asset, by the way, Assange was. The whole fucking time. The whole time. Quite honestly, the Finnish president Alexander Stubbs' reaction to Trump nodding off is all of us. I saw his wife look at him too, Melania, while Donnie was passed the fuck out. Here's what that looks like. I know, Donnie's praying, right? The Antichrist is praying? Is that where you're going to go with it? No, he's asleep. He was playing with his phone at the Pope's funeral. He was sleeping. His wife looked over at him. They probably heard him snoring or something. That's probably why people looked. They weren't looking to look at Donnie's shitbags. They must have heard something. I assume Melania heard something because I saw her look over too while Donnie was in this position. Maybe he shit his pants because Donnie does that all the time too. He'll just be sitting there and, you know, you hear it. I posted a video the other day of him doing it. So I assume the Finnish president and Donnie's own wife, Melania, must have heard something because they both kind of looked over. And there's Donnie passed out. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable, man. As part of the expansion of immigration fees, $1,000 asylum application fee, the first in U.S. history. $1,000 fee for individuals paroled in the U.S. $3,500 fee for sponsors of unaccompanied children. $2,500 penalty for sponsors of unaccompanied children who fail to appear in court. $550 fee for work permits, employment authorization, text below. So they're making it impossible for these poor people from the third world nations once they walk 1,000 miles to get asylum, whatever, because they would have to come up with 1,000 US, 3,500, 2,500, 550 to work. These people are getting here with basically nothing. So they're making it pretty much impossible for even an asylum seeker from a poor war-torn country to seek asylum. And again, America was supposed to be a shelter for some of these people around the world. Now it's let's make a business out of it. Let's cut, these people that seek asylum right out of the whole process. There's a lot of wars that take place and gang activity and all kind of crazy shit that happens from the border down, from Mexico down. And sometimes people need to flee. And America takes them in sometimes. Like we did with Haiti after the earthquake. Sometimes America helps out. Now we're going to charge $1,000 for it to make it impossible. Again, it's just evil, son. That's all it is. That's all you have your name on. And it gets more evil by the day, and they get more bold. And today, the statements I heard come out of people's mouths, Stephen Miller and others, they're just getting more and more bold outward with the Reich activity and rhetoric. Again, we're at the point where they're arresting judges. Rare atmospheric phenomenon behind the outage disruption could last a week, Portuguese operator says. So about a week, the rest of the power should be on, hopefully. This is regarding an article. Doge's data digging at the Social Security Administration puts millions of Americans at risk. And the commenter said, my guess is that Elon pulled off the greatest data heist in history for his AI business. And he did it right under their Trumpian noses. Imagine the power of knowing everything about every American. Imagine the power to someone who owns major businesses and is training a new AI. That AI will be used for evil against you and me. That's the real reason for the lists. Also, he can make a shit ton of money off of them. Selling the information, my God, to Russia, what he could make, to China, etc. Using the information for his own business purposes, my God, the money he could make. And then using the information for the real nefarious purposes. I notice there's a lot of lists being made. Lists of autistic people, list of Jewish people in colleges, in college faculty, Social Security lists, all of our information. What are all these lists going to be used for? What are the data centers that are going to be for the AI infrastructure that Altman's building? What data is going to be in there? I think you know the answer to all those questions. And I think you know where this is going. There's a reason Leon's launching satellite after satellite. He wants global coverage for this AI thing he wants to do. You're going to have Leon's evil-ass AI worming through everything out there, keeping an eye on us. You're going to have Donnie's evil-ass AI with its own infrastructure. You can't imagine what they could do with that. Again, you have a few million drones in an AI system where you don't need humans anymore, and we're under constant surveillance. We say the wrong thing in public, well, a few drones come pay us a visit and take us out specifically. And the AI can do all that. You don't even need a human being. Once it's programmed and knows what to do and what the inappropriate behavior is, according to the Reich. That's how simple it is. You don't need a man for every 5 men and women. They need a drone. And again, all you prepper people, all you people with the arsenals on your property full of guns, what are you going to do when they send 100 drones against your compound? You think you're going to shoot them all down? No, you're not. You're dead. So all these old world ideas of fighting the government and taking this on, you don't understand what they're about to unleash on us. I mean, this drone concept that the Ukrainians have shown the world, these drones can go anywhere, into your house. There's individual one-man drones made for one little small kill. My God, what the drones can do. Imagine with the new AI. Again, you won't need loyalty. AI will teach your children. You don't need loyal teachers. AI is doctors. You don't need loyal doctors. AI could deliver the news and press. You don't need journalists. AI can police us all. It's fucking bleak, man. What they're about to unveil on us is absolute horror. And it's going global, I hate to say it. It won't just be an America thing. I wish I could promise the rest of the world that it's not going to touch you. But it will eventually. We're going down first. The rest of you will come after. This is a global thing. Donnie says he runs the world. You heard him. I read it to you 9 times tonight. Global. I'm sorry. So yes, Leon pulled the biggest data heist in modern. I told you they were stealing the info, and I had it. I suspected it was being shared with Russia. Now we have the evidence it's being shared with Russia. Oh, yes, the White House forgot all these pictures. They're all criminals, jailbirds, felons. Rudy Giuliani's there, Sidney Powell, Donnie Shitbags, that's his mugshot. Yeah, we have a president who has a mugshot. A current one, not like, from 40 years ago. I don't know a lot of these names here, but I remember the faces. Oh, Mark Meadows is here. I don't remember any of these other names, but boy, there's a lot of people here. All MAGA criminals, including Donnie, 34 felonies, convicted felon. Are you proud of yourself? Okay, I've never seen one of these before. It's allegedly a microburst. And it looks like a friggin' mushroom cloud. Here's more of a close-up. Thing looks fucking horrifying. I'm not surprised there was flash flooding in San Antonio de Prado, Colombia on Friday. This is the microburst that caused it. My God, that looks, again, it looks like a nuclear cloud, a mushroom cloud from a nuclear explosion. Holy fuck. Oh yeah, did you ever see the movie They Live? I love that movie. Rowdy Piper and shit. Obey. Remember the subliminal messages you can only see with the sunglasses? And you could only see the real, who was an alien and who wasn't, if you had the special glasses. And it's ironic I call Miss Levitt Skeletor, but that's not Skeletor, but it's close. It's very close to Skeletor, actually. And you remember when Roddy Piper would look at the street signs and different things, they would look normal without the glasses, but when he put the glasses on, it would say things like consume and obey. Fascinating. Justin, Poland culls 11.5 million poultry. Again, another story where millions of birds are being killed because they have bird flu or something. Avian influenza. All over America we saw this. Then we had the egg shortage. They're seeing it in all the various countries. I don't like this. It makes me think of certain verses in certain books, like 1/3 of the animals going away and shit. I don't like thinking about that. That means people starve to death. Going before a grand jury isn't a nicety or a minor procedural step. The Fifth Amendment requires it. Arresting Dugan before convening a grand jury was intended to get flashy headlines and whip the MAGA faithful into a frenzy. Again, that's right. The Reich knows that the MAGA base are evil just like them. And they want to see judges get arrested. They want to see due process for certain people disappear. as long as it doesn't affect them. So they cheer when shit like this happens, even though it does nothing for their life except take away rights from them. They're too stupid to realize that. Again, I'm here to guide the good people through it. I'm telling you the mentalities of the different parties. So they didn't go to a grand jury and try and get an indictment or get a jury to say, yes, you should go arrest this person. They just went and arrested them. Again, that's why they're raiding courthouses for this to happen. That's the point of raiding courthouses. They were hoping they'd piss a judge off and they could use some event to fucking arrest them, and they did it. Again, that's a signal of the end of your country, son. Again, when they sent the first van to grab someone off the street and send them to a camp, I told you months ago that was going to be the end of our nation. We're well past that. Now we're at arresting judges they don't like. You're in a Reich, you're in the apocalypse. I'm sorry. You chose it, and Donnie's the Antichrist. And it's going to get way more ugly than it already is. And I take no fucking joy in saying that. J.P. Pritzker sounds like he's trying to run for president. I love what J.B. is saying. He's a billionaire, too. He's quite rich. He's not scared. But when I heard what he said today, they're coming after this guy. And again, I applaud the optimism. The different people that think they're going to run for president in 2028. AOC and Bernie, they're going out, they're getting crowds. JB is getting crowds. Gavin Newsom's getting some crowds. I hate to break it to you folks. There won't be an election in 2028. Yes, 2028. There's not going to be an election. Donnie's never leaving. You heard him say he runs the country and the world, right? You saw the Nazi salute. You see the death camps. You saw the judge get arrested. There's not going to be a fucking election. You all are wasting your fucking time trying to make the big proclamations now to make a run for president. I've got no problems with JB. I love what he's saying, but I know why he's saying it. It's time to stop wondering if you can trust the nuclear codes to people who don't know how to organize a group chat. It's time to stop ignoring the hypocrisy and wearing a big gold cross while announcing the defunding of children's cancer research. And time to stop thinking that we can reason or negotiate with a madman. And if the press, and if more people in government, and many other people, judges, would have been speaking this way for the past 10 years, maybe we wouldn't have Donnie shitbags and the end of everything right now. My point is, the judges trying to take a stand now. JB and others trying to take a big stand now. It's too late. I'm sorry. I applaud your optimism, though. I really do. But building your run, building your base for your big run in 2028, complete waste of time. The Reich ain't letting it happen, son. You think they don't know what they're doing is evil? You think they don't see the 38% poll numbers and shit their pants? They know they got to go full Reich. They're already halfway there. We already got the death camps. We already got the Nazi salutes, and people just keep on going about their lives. They're not going to let people like JB, Gavin Newsom, etc., AOC, run against them. They know they have no chance. So it's just all a waste of time, but I love what Mr. Pritzker is saying. I commend him for saying it. I just wish all you people would have made a stand earlier and spoke totally bluntly the way Mr. Pritzker, not glossing it over, not normalizing it, bluntly. How did he end it? With a madman. You can't negotiate with a madman. Indeed, he's a madman. He thinks he's Caesar. Thinks he runs the world. He said it out of his own fucking mouth. Pakistan's Defense Minister Khawaja Asif warns war with India is imminent within days. That sounds fucking serious, and it's just funny again. JD visits on Monday, last week. after he killed the Pope on Sunday. And the next day, the following day, Tuesday, there's an attack in India and Kashmir as JD's there. So he gets there the next day, an attack happens. By the following Monday, they're at each other's throats, and they're an inch away from war. Again, JD went from shaking the Pope's hand, 10 hours later, the Pope's dead on Easter fucking Sunday. Then he's in India on Monday. Last week. On Tuesday, there's an attack in Kashmir. By the following Monday, today, they're an inch away from war with each other, India and Pakistan. If I were a world leader, here's what you may not want to do. Don't let JD into your country. Because he killed the Pope, and now he's got India and Pakistan in fucking war. This is insane. This JD is like, I don't know, the fucking face of death when he shows up or something. Drop the college boys trophy. Did you see that? Man, it's just like after he shows up, all hell breaks loose. Whew. Pakistan defense minister says military incursion by India is imminent. A volcano in central Philippines. That sent a huge ash cloud up. People were evacuated. That's what that looks like. That was today as well. Because we got to be looking at the natural disasters, don't we, in the apocalypse? President Trump addressed the India-Pakistan conflict. They'll get it figured out one way or the other. Do you feel better now? I do. Donnie shitbags says India and Pakistan, who fucking hate each other, they're going to figure it out. I feel better. I'm so glad they asked Donnie that question. He really kind of, he put it all in perspective for me. Oh, this is in Puerto Rico today. Caguas, excuse me. Caguas, Puerto Rico this afternoon. A gentleman's up to his chest. His car is underwater. Almost to the roof of the car. Probably because it's floating. The water's probably actually at the roof of the car. And here's another picture of the man damn near neck deep in water. I mean, it's at his chest. That's Puerto Rico today. Oh, you're going to love this. The House GOP reconciliation package would also supersize immigration enforcement through vast sums of money. The biggest item is $45 billion for ICE. $45 billion for ICE detention through fiscal year 2029, which would be a 364% annual increase to the current $3.4 billion detention budget. Did you hear that, son? They want a 364% increase in the detention budget for ICE. What does that tell you, class? I got to smoke a cigarette on that one. What does that tell you? That they want a 364% increase on ICE and detention? That tells you they plan on locking a lot of motherfuckers up and deporting a lot of people to the death camp. And that ain't just Mexicans, son. That's way too much money for it to be just Mexicans. Does you hear what I'm saying? A 364% increase. That only means one thing. They plan on locking a lot of motherfuckers up and sending a lot of people to the death camp. And that ain't just Mexicans, son. Oh, here's Leon showing the Doge badge. Real exciting. The Doge Father badge. Again, as he's basically in hiding, because everyone's told him, Leon, please don't say anything. You're going to have the pitchforks and torches out way earlier than we're ready for them. So just pretend you're going to go away for a little bit, but Leon can't help himself. He's got to run his mouth. And he posted this Doge badge. Even though there are town halls full of people everywhere across this country that hate his guts, specifically because of Doge and the cuts he made. He can't help himself. He's got to do stupid shit. And obviously the Reich told him, yeah, Leon, we got to pretend you're going away because you're making us look way too bad and everyone hates you. Even more than they hate Donnie, and that's a hard accomplishment. That's quite a feat, Mr. Leon Scum, to be hated more than Donnie. But he can't help himself. He posts the badge. He just had to do it. The badge that represents thousands of government workers losing their jobs. Even the ones that voted Donnie. Then that has a ripple effect through the economy. Aid programs to farms, aid programs to foreigners. That's their only meal every day. Death. Leon is death. But he has to flash the badge and rub it in, doesn't he? He has to wave the chainsaw around on stage, doesn't he? Disgustingly evil. You kind of have to be for the whole world to hate you, don't you? Re-electing Trump is like shitting your pants, but only changing your shirt. Yeah. Yeah. And Donnie literally walks around with shit in his pants. MAGA red hats made in China have doubled in price, and his cult followers will say, thank you, sir, may I have another? Let's look at this quickly. What do we have here? We have two kinds of MAGA hats. We have red and black. One is $6 and the black one is $8. So you go and they're going to buy one of each hat. So the bill comes out to $14.58 for the price of the hats. Shipping is free. There's a discount on the items. That's why they're only $14 for both. Sales tax zero, free shipping, import charges, $20.53. On an item that was $6 and an item that was $8. Now you're adding $20. Now you're paying $35 when you could have been paying $14. That's the Donnie shitbags effect. Even on a fucking MAGA hat. Because they made in China, baby. They always were and they always will be. But America first, right, Rubes? Right. President Zelensky has rejected Putin's ceasefire proposal for May 9th parade. Yeah, Putin wants to have a North Korean or commie-style military parade. And he wanted a ceasefire for 3 days because he doesn't want to worry about drones bombing the fuck out of his parade. Zelensky said fuck off. Why? Because Vlad never honors a ceasefire. Why should Zelensky honor anything or any deal with him? Why should he make a deal with him? Vlad never honors any ceasefires. Why should Zelensky give him that peace? He shouldn't. Good move. U.S. fighter jet falls overboard while avoiding Houthi attack. Yes, allegedly a Navy ship had to make a quick maneuver off the coast of Yemen because of a Houthi attack today. Now, if the Houthis are capable of even having to make one of our ships make a maneuver so severe that an aircraft falls off the fucking deck, that bothers me. Why? Because we have an incompetent drunk in charge of the military. And if he has us in a situation where people is making moves on us, and we got to make moves that results in planes falling off the deck, that means some real battles going on. Or The captain of the ship is an incompetent idiot and made a maneuver that dropped the plane off and is blaming it on an attack. It could be that as well, because no captain wants to admit they're such an idiot that they lost a $30 million plane, actually $60 million plane, off the edge of the ship because they don't know how to steer the ship correctly. But this is what they're telling us. So if they're telling us a $60 million jet is gone because the Houthis actually have the capability to freak one of our ships out to the point it makes a quick maneuver and loses a plane, that worries me. Maybe we in a fight that's bigger than I thought it was. Not that I ever wanted to be in that fight in the first place. But drunk-ass Hegseth and the Antichrist have us in it. And it bothers me that the Houthis are even capable enough to have one of our ships maneuvering to where it loses a jet off the deck. Doesn't sound like a good thing. And we're at the end. How much money has Trump's war in Yemen cost so far, and when is it going to end? I realize he is willing to spend whatever it takes to protect Israel, and of course Saudi shipping for his business partners. But how many more drones and aircraft are we going to lose on this? Again, that's a good question, isn't it? We just lost a $60 million plane because a Navy ship had to maneuver quickly because of the Houthis, allegedly. We've lost 7 drones, at least, that cost $30 million apiece in this Houthi thing so far. In other words, maybe the people we're fighting are a little tougher than they're letting on to us. Or Mr. Hegseth is so incompetent that he's waging war in the wrong fashion. And we're losing equipment that costs 30 million, 60 million, etc. In other words, maybe it's the incompetence of the Antichrist and his protege, Mr. Hegseth. Maybe it's the result of having sycophants in charge that don't actually know how to prosecute war properly, effectively. To where we don't lose 7 drones in a matter of a month and a half or whatever it's been, and we don't lose $60 million planes to a bunch of alleged villager terrorists. What are we doing? 7 times 30 is what? 210 million plus 60 million, 270 million in lost just equipment. Let alone fuel costs, bombs, all that shit we're dropping. So yeah, how much money are we going to spend on it? It's a damn good question. But at the end here, I really want to stress this message and this point when I get back to it again. Let me pull it up. 1, we're at the point where we're arresting judges. We already have the death camps. That's well established. These people never leave. And if you were a person in a camp and you were never allowed to leave, you'd be calling it a death camp too, son. Trust me. You'd have a whole new perspective than you have comfortably sitting at home watching this with your worthless political opinions, if you're in favor of this. Death camps, I mean. For the people that are laughing about it, saying it's great, blah, blah, fucking blah, I imagine you'd have a different perspective if you were in the camp. So I'd like to say that. And I'd like to stress this for the 80th time. The first time I had 2 things to do, run the country and survive. I had all these crooked guys. And the second time I run the country and the world, says the crooked guy. No, he was the crooked guy. That was the problem. Now he's surrounded by sycophants. I told you all the guardrails will be gone. He will surround himself with only sycophants. He will fire anyone that is not a sycophant. We've got literal loyalty tests. We've got people being hooked up to polygraphs to see if they leak shit to the press, because that's paramount in the Reich. Not leaking the schemes behind the scenes. That's why they use signal and reveal strike packages, imminent strike packages, to reporters like Big Jeff Goldberg at The Atlantic. So now all the guardrails are gone. Now they're going for the judges, the last guardrail. They're the only ones saying, Donnie, you can't do it. They're the only ones they remotely respect as far as consequences. Even though Donnie has straight up ignored Supreme Court rulings at this point. So all the guardrails have been removed. He has the military. He's getting rid of the last guardrail, which is judges. And one more time, I want to read this before I end. Again, remember the guy. This guy. Told you. Donnie thinks he's Caesar. All federal money is his. Anyone who does business around the globe is supposed to pay him tribute. That's what Donnie thinks. Now let's read the evidence. I had all these crooked guys, and the second time, I run the country and the world. So that gold statue of Donnie on the Holy Land isn't so unbelievable, is it? When you know what the person thinks. He thinks he runs the world. He said it out loud. It's a quote. He thinks he's Caesar, just like Nikki said. And again, people, I don't want to be right. I really want to be wrong. But again, death camps, judges arrested, Sieg Heils, elimination of all federal programs and federal employees and AI all over the place, and let's send out images of ourselves built and made in our image that promote our values over the airwaves. So many of you in this comment section right now, you are the images being put forth. You're not alive, you don't breathe, but still you're active. For you are the image sent by your master. And the master that sent you, as you speak all these vile things, they will be held accountable, son. The man sees. Just because a bot's saying it, don't mean there's not a human behind it. Do you understand that? The man sees you, son, as you hide behind the bots, as this website allows them to operate. The man sees you. The bots won't be there to save you, son. They won't be able to go out in your image and save your ass from the lake. I'm sorry. I hope it was fun, though. I hope it was worth it for you. Again, I'll say this one more time and then I'll end it. The first time I had two things to do, run the country and survive. I had all these crooked guys. And the second time, I run the country and the world, says the convicted felon Caesar Donnie. Until the next episode, have a wonderful evening.